Hi, this is Larry Hatch, and this is 10 New and Modern Words for Success and Better Communication, Part 3. Our first phrase today is reaction video, and I think we've all seen those. If you've been on YouTube, there's a almost viral amount of these things going on. It's a video commonly on YouTube where a person or group, sometimes a family or a group of friends, emotionally responds to and evaluates another video or sometimes just a music track without much going on. It could be from a concert or it could just be an audio track. But anyway, sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're shocking, sometimes they're kind of fake. The ones that get me is people that are like, man, this guy Beethoven, he's really good. I don't know why I've never heard of him. And I'm like, well, public schools, maybe, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, and other people, younger people, may have not have heard the Beatles, the Queen, the Stones, the Who, the Dead. Better not leave anybody out. Uh, Sometimes it'll be a minority group reacting to country music, or it might be a white family reacting to hip hop. It's often a cross-cultural thing, and usually when something gets picked, all the other reactionaries, reaction videographers, I guess we'll call them that, or video content providers, they'll all pick up that same song or movie or theme. In fact, I think some of the reaction videos, some of the videos that are commonly reacted to, are almost created with this in mind. Be like top 10 things wrong with America, or top 10 things you need to know before moving to Germany, or something like that, or top 10 secrets of McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or something. It's almost like they're begging for, to be reacted to. And reaction videos do have a problem because some people don't like other people appropriating their video, even though they don't maybe play the whole thing. So some YouTubers get what they call copyright strikes, where the video is taken down or they're not allowed to monetize it. And so then sometimes I'll put the video on a different platform like Patreon or Vimeo or their private website so it doesn't get blocked. But anyway, that's probably enough of that. The next one is value proposition. It's not a new term, but it keeps coming up. It's sort of a business buzzword, and I think I heard it about 10 years ago when we had some new management at my company, and they started talking about our value proposition. They made everybody memorize what the 4 pillars of it were. It's basically the sum total of advantages and resources offered by a company towards its customers to induce sales, loyalty to, and that includes price, value for money, expertise, ease of use, accessibility, professionalism, innovation, uniqueness, and good ethics. It's usually some combination of those, like, hey, not only is our price better than the competition, we have tech support in America that speaks English. Some people do go there. We have the largest research budget of anybody in the industry, so we've been able to innovate more. We have all these new technologies. We have an 800 number. Some small businesses might not. Our product is easier to use than the other one. There's no, weird setup or configuration. Sometimes it gets very detailed. Other times it's just very basic. And if you're selling to other professionals, you sort of need some kind of value proposition. And that's different than a mission statement. It's usually, like I say, some of these, the sum total of the advantage of doing business with you, why they would want to do business with you as a total package of what you have to offer. The next term is jeggings. As a man, I did not know about this. I guess I'm not sure. I've seen them, but I didn't know any women who had them. It's basically a denim or jean style, typically blue jean, leggings that are very stretchable, form-fitting. That is tight jeans. It either can be made out of real stretchable denim or a spandex printed version of denim, and obviously they're more comfortable and curve fitting. I better leave it at that before I say something stupid. Anyway, our next term is Freegan, and it's basically a vegan that consumes mostly free or disposed of food to eliminate cost to themselves, to the environment as well, waste and environmental impact. Freegans are sort of there's positive ones and there's negative ones. The negative ones are known as dumpster divers, where they will, get thrown away food. The more classy Freegans are people that might go to a food bank and say, let me take stuff off your hands that's perishable for our community. Others may have sources of free vegetables from restaurants. As you know, restaurants throw out enormous amounts of food, and sometimes they do give it to food banks or groups of vegans or groups of anybody really, often with a lower income, but not necessarily. And so there's different kind of angles to it. It's not just dumpster diving, which is probably not very healthy. But anyway, it's maybe some of you can give me some examples of how you see that. Again, it may be just, hey, you're going to throw this away. Let's give this to some people that could use it. It really has some upsides to it. The next term is child-free. And I said, well, that's the same as childless, right? And it's actually not. It was created because the term childless is kind of in society got the connotation where it's an involuntary state. For biological reasons, we're childless type thing. So somebody who's child-free, they have it's a couple or family that has no children in the household by choice, and it doesn't have the connotation of it being an involuntary or biological condition, and so on. So it's considered a more precise term that we choose not to have children type thing. Our next term is a celebrev. Maybe I should have capitalized the R. It's basically a reverend or clergy member from a church that caters to famous people or celebrities, thus in time becoming a celebrity and household name themselves. It's not like a televangelist who's made a name on his own. It's somebody who associates with famous people at their house of worship, and therefore, by their connection to certain people, they become famous. And obviously, we have a case in the news recently, and I won't go into that, but I think we all know who we're talking about. And that person kind of fell from grace, maybe took their fame a little too far and transgressed their stated values. I'll just leave it at that. But I think we all know who the celebrevs are, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It sort of has a reputation of being a little like a Hollywood church, if you will. But some people do pay attention to theological values and morality because of a celebrity they admire that's maybe turned their life around. And maybe they will listen to that celebrev where they wouldn't listen to, their hometown preacher or minister or so on. Um, so anyway, there's that. The next term is one I knew existed, but I didn't know they had a term for it. It's a green funeral, and it's basically a burial event that involves eco-friendly materials and practices, such as biodegradable caskets or cremation. Um, by the way, cremation is not cheap, but some people do get cremated and buried in a biodegradable box. Obviously, if it's a metal urn, that's not too green. There are biodegradable caskets, and some are made out of mushrooms, so that they literally populate the earth, feeding on your body. That's a little weird. But again, hey, you ever been to a cemetery? They all have trees, so we're all pushing up maple trees or daisies or something, right? Eventually. So anyway, there's biodegradable caskets, and in any major city, you're going to find at least one funeral service that will offer that. It's generally simplicity, lack of cost. Although this anything trendy like this is going to be marked up, especially for a celebrity. There's no man-made materials. The casket is not full of polyester velvet or something like that, and there's no embalming chemicals to pollute the groundwater. So we're going to see more of that, and it is something people are doing. I guess you could say that the old Western burial, well, every kind of burial, in a pine box in the old days was kind of a green funeral, just you and some wood. But now it's gotten more complicated, because there's rules on you have to bury people in most municipalities. The next term is snert. That's a hybrid word of snow and dirt, and it's like black snow or dirty snow, and it usually occurs when the snow is kind of melting, that kind of crunchy, dirty phase where the road dirt and the snow are all mixed in together. So the cars are driving down the road, and all the debris, the sand, the salt, the dirt, the soil from the sidewalks and stuff, kind of accumulates with the snow. And there's a term for that. I'm not sure how useful it is, but it's like black snow as opposed to yellow snow. Anyway, a diaspora is a dispersion of any people beyond their original homeland or center of culture. And the term diaspora is frequently used in terms of Jewish people, the scattering of the tribes around the world, and in terms of the African diaspora due to the evils of slavery and so on. And there are professors who study diaspora plural, as a group of people, and the history of that. It's a very fascinating thing. And somewhat related to that is afro-futurism. It's a movement to plan and honor the bright future for Africans and their diaspora, like African Americans or Anglo-Africans, if you will, any group of people of African descent or people of color broadly, in terms of technology, enlightenment, and progress. Some people do define afrofuturism as black science fiction, but other people have taken it to mean, let's do this. Let's use technology, enlightenment, progressive views to make the future brighter for people in Africa and their diaspora scattered throughout the world. And as many of you know, the wildly popular movie Black Panther did have an Afro-futuristic bent to it, and was very compelling as such. But more than just science fiction, people say, hey, this can happen, and if we use technology, enlightenment, get rid of colonialism and dictators, the continent of Africa does have a very bright future. So let's hope we do see that. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. Please comment below, and I'd appreciate any examples or even funny stories that you have. Corrections are always welcome. All of these definitions are ones that I've made up based on my knowledge of the subject or compiled from other sources. I haven't plagiarized a single one, and so on. Some of you have talked about me putting the origins of these terms. I probably will do that in the future. A lot of times we don't know who coined these words. Other times we do have really precise literary references or media references on these terms, and so we can probably add that in the future. Thank you.